All right, fourth graders, today is our last lesson in this unit, and it's really nothing new. The only thing that's somewhat new is we are going to be applying our work from this unit into some word problems on the last page in the workbook. And there's a little bit of number line work too that we have to adjust a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. And we are going to be in the workbook. And like I said, it's mostly just review, right? And so as you are looking at each type of problem, the first three, you're looking for a fraction that will complete the equation. So we're looking to get to 1 whole, right? So we know 1 whole equals 4 fourths. So with 1/4, you would need to add 3 more fourths in order to get to 1 whole. With this one, write the fraction as a sum of fractions in 2 different ways. Well, one way you could write would be 2/6 plus 3/6 will get you to your 5/6. See if you can come up with another way. Oh, that's a comma, sorry. See if you can come up with another way to get to 5/6 and do the same with 8/10, 6/8, and 10/6. Okay? And then write the fraction as a mixed number, right? Well, remember this is the same as you can take out an 8/8. And if you take out 8/8 from 11, you still have 3 left. So you'd have 3/8. And so this could also be written as this 8/8 is 1 whole and 3 more eighths. You could also just set that up as a division problem, right? 11 divided by 8 in your remainder is going to be placed over 8. In this case, it'll be 3/8. Write this number as a mixed fraction. Remember, we multiply on the bottom, so this is going to be 5 times 3. And then you add the numerator, or plus 2. So your new fraction, and I'm going to write it down below here, 5 times 3 is 15, 16, 17 fifths. Okay, see if you can convert these last two. Multiply on the bottom, add the top. All right, and then adding and subtracting, all you really need to do is just please be aware of the operation, right? And then we add across the top or we subtract across the top. So 2 plus 1 is just 3, and the 5 stays as fifths. That's it. Make sure you find the subtraction, right? And here, obviously, you're just going to subtract across the top. 4 minus 3 is 1. The 6 stays the same. Bottom number always stays, that denominator. Okay, when you get on to the next page, this is page 306, right? So you'll add the same way, do it in 2 parts. And you subtract in the same way, do it in 2 parts. Do the fraction first and then the whole number. So 1/4 plus 2/4 is 3/4. And then 3 plus 5 is 8. So your new number is 8 3/4. Sometimes we need to subtract and borrow, okay? So you got to remember how to take one. And then let's go through the process again. They kind of gave us a trick in our last lesson. So 4 1/3, you can't do 1 minus 2. So let's cross that off. I'm going to take 1 from the 4, right? Then turn that into a 3. And then the trick is you just add the denominator and the numerator. 3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. That thirds has to stay the same. And now I'm subtracting 1 2/3. 4 minus 2 is 2 over 3 still. Third stays the same. 3 minus 1 is 2. So my new value is 2 2/3. Okay, so you're going to have to trade and borrow here as well. You can't do 5 minus 7. So think about what that new fraction is going to become, just like we did here. There's also in yesterday's lesson at the bottom of one of your workbook pages a really good example of how to do that with 3 different problems. See if you can figure out. Puzzled Penguin came close, but couldn't quite figure out. He made a mistake going from here to here. He's trying to trade and borrow with 4 1/8. He turned it into 4 9/8. There's a simple mistake he made. See if you can figure that out. And then as we go forward to page 307, this is the word problems that I was talking about. And so you're going to read the word problem and you're going to figure out, is it is it addition or is it subtraction that you're trying to do? Okay, look for those key words in the word problems. And then finally on the last page, we're going to change things a little bit. So if you are doing these distance learning, you don't have classmates that you can go around to and ask what their measurement was, right? And so I created some for you, and I want you to pause it now and copy these down. So these X's, these tally marks, represent different students' measurements, okay? What you were supposed to do is you were supposed to draw a line up here and then measure it closest to the nearest eighth of an inch with a ruler. So I put some measurements in here. Each X stands for one of my measurements, right? So I had two measurements here that were 2/8 of an inch. I had one that was, it's in between 6/8 and 8/8, so this must be 7/8 of an inch, okay? Well, it's not 1 and 2/8 here, it's 1 and 3/8. It's one more up. Each of these increments goes up by 1/8 of an inch, but we only label every other so that it doesn't get too crowded, okay? But now with this information, pause it if you haven't yet, put that in, or you can just pause it and use my screen, and we're going to solve 39 and 40. So the range is a difference between the greatest value and the least value, okay? What is the range of the data? So what you'll do is you'll have to figure out, okay, my biggest value. Well, I had 3 measurements here of 2 and 6/8. I have 3 on my number line, but it's not represented by any X's. So your biggest value is 2 and 6/8. And then the difference. This is a key word for subtraction. So the least value, or my smallest value, is 2/8. So I need to subtract 2/8. Okay, so you can set it up on the side just like the problems you were doing on the last page as well. 2 and 6/8 minus 2/8. Or you could even think of it as 0 and 2/8, right? Figure out what that is. And whatever you're left over with is your answer. And then which distance value occurred most often? Well, I see 2/8 was twice, 7/8 was only once, twice, once. Right here. This distance occurred 3 times, right? Each X represents a different time that distance occurs. So 2 and 6/8 was my most often. Okay. Sometimes most often is referred to as the mode. M-O-D-E, mode. All right, now that's kind of all the review that we had. Those are all that's all the work we've done in this unit so far, so get some practice with that. And then there should be a Think Central assignment for you as well, and you'll have to interpret and read the number line. All right, guys, good luck. Let your teacher know if you need any help.